How's it going, guys? Andreas here. Have you ever been in a situation where you re-raised out of the blinds, got called, and didn't know what to do on the flop? Well, then this video is for you to get to know better what your flop strategy should look like in a 3-bet pot. Let's have a look at the PL solver simulation that I have here. First of all, let's have a look at the settings. The board is going to be check 7-5, rainbow. The starting pot is going to be 41 and the effective stacks are 180. The bet sizes are mostly 50% and 66% raising. And the ranges for out of position are this, and for in position, this. You can pause the video if you need to see and look at the range a little bit closer. But I want to go rather quickly about this. So the flop sizing that I chose here was 66%. And your strategy could look like this. The problem with this clustering here is, or this strategy, that a lot of the times it's going to be a mix. Only your very best hands for betting aces and kings are going to be bet almost always. But some other hands like ace queen, like ace nine suited, are going to be a mix between betting and checking. So how do you go about this? Well, for the offsuit combinations, what you can do, for example, let me show you with ace queen what I would do. So for ace queen, I'm gonna dissect the 16 combinations that I can have. Let's go over to desktop mode real quick. You can see that for ace queen, there's ace of spades queen, and then there's some ace of clubs queen. You can see that the EV or the CBET frequency is not the same with all the ace queen offsuit. Why is that the case? Well, blockers matter also in no limit hold'em. So the way I would go about this is that if you're c-betting 70% of all ace queen, you can say, okay, I c-bet all the ace queen with an ace of spades, with an ace of hearts, and an ace of diamonds. These are the three ace hands that have the same colors as on the flop. And then all the hands that have the ace of clubs in it, you're checking. So that way, you actually will be balanced in a very similar fashion to what the solver is doing. It's a little bit tougher for the suited hands, but there you can just split. Okay, you can say, yeah, I'm gonna bet the the diamonds and the hearts, which are the highest two, and I'm gonna check the spades and the clubs. It's very hard to always, basically randomize. It's very, you can use a random generator or something, but other than that, you have to split it with suits. This is how most players do it these days, because otherwise it will be too much effort for you guys. So why do we even do this? Well, the reason why we want to, be balanced here, or how we, want to make the highest EV possible, is that we protect also our checking range. We can't just bet all the, aces, kings, queens, and jacks, etc., the best value hands, also the ace jack suited. You also have to be checking them once in a while. And the best hand to do that with is pocket jacks. Pocket jacks does block the continuing range of your opponent, meaning ace jack suited, queen jack suited, king jack suited, 10 jack suited, a lot. So you're not going to get value when you have top set. So what you do with it, you're going to start checking it 2 out of 3 times. Or you can even check it all the time. It won't matter as much. When you do that, you are protecting your checking range. That means when you check and your opponent barrels off and bets flop, bets turn, bets river, you have a hand that you can always call down with, and that's going to be pocket jacks. Okay, you can once in a while also have ace jack or aces that you try to trap, but the best hand to do it with is going to be the top set for the reasons mentioned. Let me show you guys what happens with the same board in Pot Limit Omaha. In Pot Limit Omaha, I use a different tool because there's no PO solver for Omaha yet. So I'm using Monker Solver. By the way, Monker Solver I've tested for the same spot in No Limit Hold'em. This is No Limit Hold'em for pocket queens, and it shows the exact same EV. So this program is accurate, and you can learn a lot from it as well. For PLO, this is the only way for me to study a 3-bet pot in an accurate way. What I do here is I, for example, type in a hand here. For example, I have ace, king, king, 5, double suited. And you can see that when I have the option between checking and betting in a 3-bet pot out of position, I should be always betting. This is what solver tells me to do, so I'm going to do it. When I have jacks with, let's say, a 10-9, come on, I should be betting as well. But in general, jacks are not bet all the time. Sometimes you want to be checking some of the top sets, also in PLO, to protect your checking range a little bit. When you go down in hand strength and go down to 5-7 without having jacks or 5s or 7s, you can see that you should be checking the majority of the time. Solver tells you, okay, when you have bottom 2 pair and you are the 3-better with check 8-7-5 double suited, for example, that's by the way 3 pair, then you should be checking and then continuing from there. So you can see when you do check and your opponent bets, we are sometimes check raising. A lot with our 3 pair, we're check raising, check 7-5. This is going to be a check and then a check raise. And then with some other hands like 7-5-8-9, we're often check calling and then sometimes also check raising. I've also done this in a more visual fashion for you guys here in this. First of all, here's my hold'em file. Again, the strategy, and then the PLO file. Here I've basically used these strength buckets. This is a method I have from Chain Anders 87. It's you dissect into strength buckets and you see, okay, what do I do with top set, middle set, bottom set, top 2, top bottom 2, aces, kings, queens, a jack, a lone jack with some side cards, a open-ended straight draw or double gut shot, and then what do I do with some random gut shots and some 1-pair hands, and then what do I do with air. So here is basically a list of what you do with these strength buckets when you have those different hand strengths, you know. And then, for example, with 5-7, you see I do a lot of checking. I also have an observation on the right, which basically, when I'm in the lab, I always take like some observations. What do I do with, for example, when I have queens? Well, if I have queens, mostly double suited, then when I have queen, queen, 6-8, I'm going to be betting half the time. But when I have queen, queen, king, ace, I'm going to be checking. Because it has more showdown value and it needs less protection when you have an ace, king. Because the turn, if the turn's an ace or a king, you have top pair. So you turn a good hand and also gotcha, by the way, with that particular hand. But when you have queen, queen, 6-8, betting makes a lot of sense because when you get raised, you have an open ender plus an overpair, a lot of more equity, and you can just stack off. So if you say that, okay, this is all too much for me, and I don't want to, do this all by myself, and you need help with, playing out of position, I have coaching offers on my website, which you can find here. The PLO coaching offer you can find on my website, andreasfröhlich.com. It's also in the description below. So if you do want to work with me with a solver tool and, basically look at your game and improve it by learning more about blockers, by learning more about c-betting strategies when you're the 3-better, you can contact me on my website over here. There's a contact button and send me a message over here. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, you can also have obviously some advice for free. Comment below. You can ask me about anything regarding out of position play in this video, and there will be future videos about some other concepts on my YouTube channel. So if you like this type of content, subscribe here below, and thanks for watching today and see you next time.